get. So the very first play, according to the list that I was looking at, turns out that there's some dispute as to what Shakespeare's first play is, Comedy of Errors. The first thing that popped into my brain when I hear Comedy of Errors is a Comedy Channel. I don't know why. It just is. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust your brain. That first association is golden. The first association is what your brain is giving you. It's a gift from your brain. It's what is automatic. It's a little bit tricky to get into the mode of associating a word with an image. It's a little bit hard. It's not the easiest thing in the world. And you may need to prime the pump by watching a bunch of movies or closing your eyes and visualizing a whole, sort of like a dreamscape, and just get yourself thinking along those ways. But so the first thing I think of, Comedy of Errors, is Comedy Channel. I'm sitting in a room, I'm watching TV, and I'm watching the Comedy Channel, Comedy of Errors. This isn't something which is just sort of like theoretical. I am seeing myself in a room, in my underwear, watching TV with a bowl of popcorn, watching Comedy of Errors, Comedy Central. That's what I see. It is real. This is an event. It's something that freaking happened to me. You have to absolutely see it, not just sort of like theoretically, well, you know, I wrote it down and that means this. No, it's beyond that. I'm in the scene. I'm watching this as if it's actually happening. Okay? I changed the channel and I changed it to channel 6. I don't know why, for Henry VI. I think of Henry Hill from Goodfellas. That's the first thing that came into my brain. I don't know why. It just did. So Henry VI. Henry from Goodfellas, channel 6. I changed it again. The third channel now I'm watching, Richard III. Richard Simmons is up there, and he's got his hair, he's dancing around in his little underwear, and that's what I'm watching. The key is that these actions are connected. I'm watching TV. There's Comedy of Errors. I change the channel, channel 6, Henry VI. I change it again, Richard Simmons, Richard III. Okay? I don't advise that. What I want you to do when you start to memorize stuff this way is that there needs to be a very good link. And those links are not very strong because you're just changing the channel. But if there is a shrew taking a poo in Richard Simmons' hair, and that shrew needs to be tamed, that's a good visual. You're not going to forget that one. Taming of the shrew. Richard III to taming. Now there's a very clear link. There's a very close association between those two things that you're memorizing. Okay? He's up on stage and he's dancing around. Behind him is Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's wearing a little singlet. Make it outrageous. Make it like, wow, that's kind of crazy. I don't know why my brain just thought of that. I'm a really perverted person or whatever. I don't care. You don't have to share this with anybody. You don't have to, there's no reason for you to worry about whatever comes into your brain. You trust yourself. That's what came into my head. Leonardo DiCaprio, dancing, sweating to the oldies. Romeo and Juliet, because he was in Romeo and Juliet. That's the next one. Behind him is Pat from Saturday Night Live, the androgynous Pat. Titus Andronicus. Androgynous. That's just what went in my brain. I don't know. Call me crazy. And then, the associations from there, it spins on and on and on. Who's watching this? Two gentlemen from Verona. They're in a little gondola. There's a band playing. It's UB40, Labor of Love. Love's Labor Lost. Richard Simmons comes back for the second time, Richard II. He's running away from this mist, Midsummer's Night Dream, which is created from an outhouse, King John. And the outhouse leads to a little open sewer, which is the Merchant of Venice. The canals of Venice are a sewer. In the sewer, there's a hen. It's laying 4 eggs, and then 5 eggs. Henry IV, Henry V. From there, people freak out. There's this gigantic hen that's laying eggs in the canal. Much ado about nothing. They're running away, and they run into a bunch of lances that are held by 12 knights. 12th night. They are then impaled on the lances, and they start to get cooked. They get cooked as you like it, medium well. What's served with the people who are being cooked? What's served is a Caesar salad, Julius Caesar. What else? Hamlet, ham. Served by the Merry Wives of Windsor. Okay? They live in Windsor Castle, and there's a moat. In the moat, there is a troll that lives in the moat, and he drives a Toyota Cressida, Troilus and Cressida. And I know it sounds bizarre. I know you're like going, okay, I don't know if I can do this. Anybody can do this. I've taught everybody how to do it. The fact that my visuals are a little bit unusual, that's just me. If you feel like you can't go where I go, that's good. I don't want you to go where I go. I want you to just basically go from your image to the next one, create a link, a causal link. People are running, much ado about nothing. Ooh, they get impaled into the lance. Ouch. Okay, 12 lances, 12th knight. Then they get cooked. You actually see them get cooked as you like it. That's an image that you're not going to forget, right? People on 12 lances getting turned over a spit, getting cooked as you like it. You make these as outrageous as you can, so you go from Comedy of Errors to Henry Hill to Richard III, and then you get the little shrew, and there's Richard Simmons, and he's dancing around. Taming of the Shrew, behind him, Leonardo DiCaprio. And so before I took the bar, what did I do? Did I have a whole bunch of outlines right before I took the bar? Was I talking with anybody? No, I was doing this. What does this do? I'm drawing little pictures. I'm using a different part of my brain. I'm occupying my brain, and I'm doing so in a way that eases stress because it's kind of funny, because I'm thinking of Richard Simmons as opposed to, am I going to fail the bar? I'm thinking about people getting cooked on a skewer as opposed to my own personal prerogatives and my own personal stresses and anxieties. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to tell you is probably the most important. The way in which you study is also hurting you. Because right now, the way people usually study is they go into a cube, and what do? What do you do when you get into a cubicle and you start to study?
Like we've talked about, memorization. I mean, just trying to really kind of carry out, what is most important, what are the rules of law that I'm going to need to apply.
What do you kind of tell yourself when you sit down?
This sucks.
This sucks. This sucks. I don't want to frickin' be here. You got to get out of that mode. Whatever it takes, you got to get out of that mode. I find this fun. I find this enjoyable. So when you sit down, the first thing that you think is, this is going to be fun. I'm going to learn what a pervert I am. I'm going to learn what a weirdo I am. I'm going to learn what strange things are shaking around in my brain. I'm going to learn about, I'm going to memorize a whole bunch of stuff. I have a little device that I'm going to use, and it feels like you're cheating because it's so freaking easy once you get used to it. It feels like you're getting away with murder. It feels like you're stealing because it was so hard before, and now it's so easy. But you have to work on it. This isn't something that automatically, you're going to go from Romeo and Juliet to Titus Andronicus to, the gondola to the stage where UB40 is playing to here comes Richard II back to Midsummer's Night Dream, which is the mist from the outhouse. That it takes a while for you to start thinking along those lines, but once you are able to connect everything, then it becomes kind of fun. And then what I do is that once you have a string, I call it bouncing on the string, where I can go forwards or I can go backwards. I know that the very last play is Henry VIII, okay? And then I can just go backwards up that chain as well. Henry VIII to Tempest, because he's blowing this tempest. And the tempest is causing it to snow, A Winter's Tale. And I can go all the way back up this way, and I'm going to always, come all the way back down. I know that the play that was written after King Lear was Macbeth. Why? I got Ronald MacDonald getting onto a Learjet. And so the depth of your knowledge may not be that great, but your ability to work through these chains is very, very powerful. So when you sit before the bar and you've got this information at the ready, instead of doing the, oh my God, what issue is this? You go through every single case and you demonstrate to the person who's grading your exam that you know all this stuff. So when I was in law school, what I would do is I would memorize every single case. that